Yes, it's the Renaissance season again. People are in costumes, walking in gardens, listening to the music, and spending all their money on swords. The only problem? You do not have a costume and it's less than 2 weeks. Hey, it's Eline, and today we are gonna make some costumes. And specifically fantasy costumes and not really Renaissance. So Elfia is what you would call a Renaissance fair, only it's more of a cosplay getup and everybody is in a huge ass garden of a castle and it's in 10 days. And I have given myself the task of creating not one but 2 costumes. This time not only am I making the costume of myself but the costume of myself and of my boyfriend, which is going to be a couple's costume. But how am I going to make a fantasy nerd such as myself and a sci-fi nerd such as my boyfriend gonna match? So I came up with the brilliant plan. I kind of caved into his plan. Let's do a mix of Star Wars and How to Train Your Dragon, because he loves wearing black and I like wearing white, and that coincidentally matches with the 2 dragons known as Toothless the Night Fury and I think it was Luna the Light Fury. So while he is in a mix between a Sith and Toothless, I am in a mix of a Jedi and Light Fury. I made the plan to make the How to Train Your Dragon parts details very small, as in more going with like the Jedi and the Sith theme. So let's go on to the design stage. At first, this video was mostly like, I didn't know what I wanted to do for Elfia, so I was thinking maybe it could be a knight, a moth, or a witch. But here eventually I chose to go as a Jedi. And yeah, it's very simple. I tried to make it as practical as possible, so as comfortable as possible as well, because you never know the weather, so brown boots are the best thing. And I decided to make it out of existing pieces that I already own. And then for my boyfriend, I chose the cape that he usually wears, and then I decided to make a robe specifically for this costume. So his costume is mostly based off of the cape that he has been wearing the last 2 times, and my costume is going to be completely new. So my plan for this is making my costume not too hard to make. Keeping on the low budget of things, I'm gonna use everything that we already own or thrift our pieces. So I already thrifted 2 belts, and this will be the belt that I'll be wearing. I luckily got a matching one in grayish for my boyfriend, and I think this will give off the fantasy vibes, hopefully. So my mom thrifted this dress, and this is my base on what I'm gonna make my costume out of. I'm gonna cut these mesh details and cut off the skirt so I could add my own skirt or wear pants. Don't mind me getting distracted about my earlier projects, which was like a little dragon. For the rest of this project, I'm just gonna wing it because I have literally no idea where I'm going at, and also I do kind of have an idea. So let's go on to just making and breaking stuff for this Renaissance fair. So this is the original dress in question. I am gonna cut off the skirt part and this top part because I cannot breathe in this, and it's not closed in the back right now, just because I simply did not want to close it. But yeah, somehow out of this dress, I will be making a Jedi costume. Hopefully. I was so scared to cut this. I was like shaking through the whole time because it's such a beautiful dress. So sadly, you cannot hear the snippy snips because my audio did not want to work with me. But I'm glad I did cut it, and yeah, it was quite satisfying. So this is what we are left with right now, and I close it a little bit more. If you are not getting my vision at the moment, I'm gonna put on my white pants, put on the belt, and we'll see where we're going from that. Okay, I think you can see my vision. I hope so. Yeah, no, I'm just gonna lower this neckline a little bit more because it's annoying me. So yeah, this is the beginning of my Jedi costume, and I think that every Jedi costume is okay. You can have its variations, like style, maybe a bit more fashion forward. The one thing that it does have to have is like this crossover and the belt. That's the only thing it needs to have. Otherwise a cape is fine, like a hood. I don't think I'm gonna take away all of the mesh part. Just the ones that cover, well, my skin, just because it's irritating. And also on the rest of it on to the white part, because I do love the leafy details. I'm still gonna take off these sleeves. I love them though. They have so much detail in them. The thing is, I have just way too much of a dry skin that this itches already, and I cannot imagine walking in this for the whole day. So comfort goes before style, sadly. Even though they're very pretty. The thing is, with these costumes, you want to make them as comfortable as possible because you are walking a full day in them. Okay, my arms are way more free right now. The only thing is, I need to make this hole a bit bigger, like that. I drew some black dots. The last thing that I did for the Jedi costume was finishing off the ugly seams and widening those armpit holes for my arms to go through and be comfortable. And now for the Sith costume. I made this costume on the Thursday, 2 days before the Ren-fair. So yeah, I kind of procrastinated making the Sith costume in general. But yeah, I made a pattern based off measurements that I took from my boyfriend. It was basically a very long rectangle, putting points on the edges of his shoulders and putting a slit for the front and cutting a hole for his head. And my way of sewing is very chaotic, so don't do it like I did. I was very much on a time crunch. I put foam, that was the big roll, on his shoulders so that his shoulders would stick up more and have more of a sturdy, straight look at them. So this is me testing it out. It's still oversized because it needed to be flipped inside out. I put the right sides together and then sewed everything across the seams. Luckily I could use my mother's sewing machine for this. She wasn't there for helping me sew, but I still knew the basics after sewing like way back when I was a child. I had my own little sewing machine from IKEA, but I knew the basics from there. So I went on with a red thread, matching it to the cloak that he's wearing and finishing off, yeah, the robe. Okay, so it's been a while, and Elphia is in 2 days, so and tomorrow guests are already coming because they're sleeping over, so I basically only have tonight. I made the Sith robe for my boyfriend. It's nowhere near perfect, and it also comes with the belt. This belt really like finishes the Sith look, what I was going for. I hope this will fit him because it does fit me, and we can share the same tops because we're both medium at the top. But yeah, I hope this is okay for him. There are just a few more things that I need to do. I need to cover this hilt and make it be able to go on this buckle because it's his lightsaber. I think I'm just gonna use red electrical tape just to spare me time and to match with this cloak. The weather is gonna be cold, so I'm gonna wear a white turtleneck underneath. I've decided to scrap the shoulder pauldrons and just, yeah, scrap the whole dragon idea on itself. So yeah, basically we're just cosplaying as Sith and as a Jedi, and in my head we're dragons. I've decided to not buy a lightsaber for myself because I do want to buy a sword at the Ren-fair, and bringing a lightsaber And like carrying two swords is kind of, it will be annoying when they clang together. So I've decided to just bring an umbrella and like attach it to my belt as if it's a lightsaber, just in case it rains. Yeah, so I'm using just electrical tape to cover this whole thing. It's the only thing I have laying around. I literally just, I'm so excited for this. I've been excited for this festival, Elfia, for I think about 3 months now, because it was the only thing that I had already planned on doing. For Elfia, I usually go as like a forest thing or like a nature theme, so this is a lot more out of my comfort zone, especially because I am myself not as big of a sci-fi nerd as others. It did not like me filming, so this is where we are. We're almost done. I'm still gonna wrap it around just even more, so it's a lot more structural. I wonder if it will hold. And if not, there are always cosplay makers at the fair. So let's stick that. Thank you so much for watching this video. So let's talk a bit about a reflection. So yeah, I bought a cloak on Elfia itself, on the festival itself, just because I really wanted a cloak, and I found this one which perfectly matched also the Jedi vibe, but also covered my butt, which was brown because I sat on the grass and it was dirty. Because it just had rained. Sadly, I didn't get any film footage of my boyfriend in his costume. I wish I did. So yeah, I'm very happy with what I've created and what I could do with such a low budget. And yeah, I hope you liked this video. I hope this gave you a bit more inspiration for if you wanted to make a Star Warsy Jedi Sith look yourself on a low budget. So I hope you enjoyed watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!